The arrival of the USS Nimitz, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in Manila Bay, is a moment of immense significance for the Philippines and the broader region. As the massive vessel glides into the bay, its presence is impossible to ignore. A floating city bristling with military might and technological sophistication. This is far more than a routine port call or a simple naval visit. It's a carefully orchestrated demonstration of American resolve and capability, designed to send a message not just to allies but to rivals as well. The Nimitz's journey through contested waters is a calculated show of force, signaling unwavering U.S. support for the Philippines amid rising tensions in the South China Sea. Each movement of the carrier group is watched closely by regional powers. With nearly 90 advanced aircraft including F/A-18 fighter jets, and a crew numbering in the thousands, the Nimitz is a formidable symbol of American military reach. Its flight deck is a hive of activity, underscoring the scale and readiness of U.S. naval power. The Nimitz's presence is a clear reminder of the mutual defense treaty binding the U.S. and the Philippines, a decades-old pact that promises mutual support in times of crisis. Joint exercises and flag displays reinforce this enduring alliance. The region has become a flashpoint, with China's expanding navy challenging the status quo and harassing Filipino vessels. Chinese patrols and Coast Guard ships are a constant presence, heightening the risk of confrontation. For the Philippines, the Nimitz's arrival is both a reassurance and a statement. Local officials and citizens alike watch as the carrier docks, aware that global attention is now focused on their shores. Behind the scenes, military analysts and naval officers track every movement, aware that the gravity of the standoff could turn local disputes into a superpower confrontation. Every maneuver is scrutinized, every signal analyzed for intent. The risk of miscalculation is ever present, with both sides on high alert. A single incident could escalate rapidly, drawing in nations far beyond the immediate region. For Washington, this deployment is about deterrence, upholding commitments, and maintaining freedom of navigation in international waters. Strategic briefings and planning sessions underscore the seriousness of the mission. For Manila, it's a sign they are not alone in facing regional challenges. The handshake between Filipino and American sailors is more than symbolic. It's a pledge of solidarity. The Nimitz and its strike group sailing in tight formation are a visible counterweight to Chinese pressure. Their presence is a reminder that the balance of power in the region is still contested. The South China Sea has become a stage for high-stakes military posturing, with each side testing the resolve of the other. The world watches as ships and aircraft maneuver over disputed waters and islands. In this tense environment, the next move could have global consequences, shaping the future of the Indo-Pacific and the balance of power for years to come. The South China Sea's strategic value cannot be overstated. This body of water is one of the world's busiest maritime corridors, crucial for global trade and rich in natural resources. Its strategic importance has made it a hotspot for overlapping territorial claims, with several nations asserting their rights over various parts of the sea. China's sweeping 9-dash line clashes with the exclusive economic zones of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei. This line, which covers most of the South China Sea, is a major point of contention. The 2012 standoff at Scarborough Shoal and China's ongoing presence there remain flashpoints. This incident marked a significant escalation in the dispute, drawing international attention. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, declaring China's claims invalid under international law. However, Beijing rejected the decision and continued its island-building campaign, further complicating the situation. The U.S. doesn't claim territory but insists on freedom of navigation and upholding international law. American warships regularly patrol the area to assert these principles, often leading to tense encounters with Chinese forces. China's militarization of artificial islands is seen as a direct challenge to these principles. The construction of runways, radar domes and missile systems on these reclaimed reefs has raised alarms among other nations. The dispute is a long-simmering conflict, now at a boiling point. Historic confrontations and recent escalations have only added fuel to the fire, making the South China Sea one of the most volatile regions in the world. The Philippines, emboldened by U.S. backing, is more vocal in defending its rights. Joint military exercises and diplomatic support have strengthened its position against China's expansive claims. The South China Sea is a theater of competing ambitions and narratives. Each nation involved has its own story and strategic interests, making resolution a complex and challenging endeavor. The USS Nimitz, one of the world's most formidable aircraft carriers, leads a powerful carrier strike group across the vast expanse of the Indo-Pacific. Its imposing silhouette, flanked by a formidable array of warships, is a clear signal of American resolve and capability. As the centerpiece of America's Indo-Pacific strategy, the Nimitz and its escorts serve as a floating fortress, capable of launching air operations, supporting ground forces, and responding to crises at a moment's notice. This formidable formation includes advanced cruisers, agile destroyers, and stealthy submarines, each bringing unique capabilities to the fleet. Together they project unmatched military power, able to deter threats and respond to any challenge in the region. Recent operations have featured joint drills with the Philippine Navy, strengthening vital alliances and building trust through shared training and cooperation. High-profile exercises like Balikatan bring together American and Filipino forces, demonstrating unity and readiness to respond to regional crises or aggression. These deployments are carefully timed, sending a powerful message to both allies and adversaries. They reassure partners of America's commitment to their security, while serving as a visible deterrent to Chinese aggression in contested waters. Rear Admiral Maximilian Clark, commanding the strike group, emphasizes the importance of forward presence and constant readiness. His leadership ensures that the fleet remains vigilant and prepared for any contingency. By operating in contested waters like the South China Sea, the U.S. Navy directly challenges China's attempts to control vital sea lanes and assert dominance over international waters. Freedom of navigation operations are more than routine patrols. They are a deliberate message to Beijing and a reassurance to Manila and other regional partners that international law will be upheld. The sight of American warships inspires confidence among regional partners, reminding them that they are not alone in facing growing security challenges. For China, the presence of a U.S. carrier strike group complicates strategic calculations, forcing Beijing to reconsider any aggressive moves in the region. Each deployment raises the stakes, making any escalation riskier and more unpredictable for all involved. The U.S. Navy's actions send a clear signal. The South China Sea is not a Chinese lake but a vital international waterway open to all. Persistent American presence ensures the region remains open, stable, and free from coercion, reinforcing the rules-based order. With every patrol, the balance of power is on full display, underscoring America's enduring commitment to peace, stability, and freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific. China has responded to U.S. deployments with its own show of force. The People's Liberation Army Navy has conducted ambitious exercises including dual-carrier operations with the Liaoning and Shandong. These carriers, operating east of the Philippines, demonstrate China's growing reach and confidence. Modern warships, advanced destroyers, and hundreds of carrier-based sorties signal a leap in capability. Beijing frames these drills as routine, but their timing and scale are unmistakable responses to U.S. actions. China's message: it is now a blue-water navy, ready to defend its claims far from home. Official rhetoric warns against collusion with the U.S. and calls for a sea of peace. Yet, the maneuvers are meant to intimidate and assert dominance. The South China Sea is now a proving ground for China's naval ambitions. The South China Sea is one of the world's most militarized waterways. U.S. and Chinese carrier groups operate in close quarters, raising the risk of accidents or miscalculation. Even minor incidents, like a near miss between ships or aircraft, could escalate rapidly. Recent confrontations, including Chinese water cannon attacks on Philippine boats, highlight the dangers. China's use of maritime militia blurs the line between civilian and military, complicating responses. These gray zone tactics increase tension and uncertainty. The crowded sea is a volatile environment where the margin for error is shrinking. Each incident erodes trust and raises the stakes. The risk of unintended conflict is real and growing. For the Philippines, the South China Sea dispute is a direct threat to sovereignty and security. Manila has adopted a more assertive stance, publicizing Chinese aggression, increasing patrols, and deepening its alliance with the U.S. Expanded joint exercises and greater U.S. access to bases are key to this strategy. The Mutual Defense Treaty serves as a deterrent, but the Philippines is also modernizing its own military. New ships and surveillance systems boost its ability to monitor and defend its waters. This approach aims to level the playing field against China's overwhelming power. Critics warn of provoking Beijing or being caught in a superpower rivalry. The government must balance security needs with economic ties to China. Manila's goal: defend its interests without triggering a devastating conflict. The South China Sea dispute has global implications. 1/3 of world shipping passes through these waters. Any disruption would shake the global economy. The conflict tests the international rules-based order and the credibility of U.S. alliances. China's rejection of international rulings sets a dangerous precedent. If the U.S. fails to support the Philippines, other allies may question American commitments. The risk of a U.S.-China clash, both nuclear powers, is a grave concern. Escalation would have catastrophic economic and human costs. Managing tensions peacefully is a global imperative. The world is watching. The world is closely watching the South China Sea. European powers have sent warships to support freedom of navigation and a rules-based order. Regional neighbors like Vietnam and Malaysia quietly back the Philippines and U.S. presence. Some Southeast Asian nations urge dialogue, wary of choosing sides between China and the US. Japan and Australia have strengthened security ties with the Philippines and joined joint exercises. International bodies like the UN and G7 call for restraint and peaceful resolution. Global consensus: uphold international law and freedom of navigation. Beijing faces mounting diplomatic pressure as its actions are judged worldwide. As of September 29, 2025, the South China Sea remains tense and unpredictable. Military posturing by the US and China is likely to continue. The challenge is to prevent accidents from spiraling into conflict. Diplomacy offers hope. ASEAN and China are negotiating a code of conduct, but progress is slow. Gray zone tactics and low-level tensions may become the new normal. The Philippines, with US support, is countering Chinese moves by publicizing incidents. The future depends on choices made in Washington, Beijing, and Manila. True security will require dialogue, respect for law, and shared responsibility. The USS Nimitz is a symbol, but peace depends on restraint and cooperation. The next chapter is unwritten.